after so many years, hounded by hatred and trapped by fear, I'm in a box. I've got no place to go. If I follow my mind, I know I slaughter my own. Help me, I'm the prisoner. Won't you hear my plea? I need somebody, yeah, to listen to me. I beg you, brothers and sisters, I'm counting on you, yeah.
Peace and love. Welcome to the Northeast Political Prisoner Coalition. I'm Brother Frank, and I just want to say greetings and peace and love, as I always do, to those who are engaged in the holiday time. Happy holidays to all of those. Thank you for tuning in. Let's get right to it. This is a time where people come together, who haven't seen each other for quite some time. You make your favorite dishes, you exchange gifts, you inquire about each other's health, and you just catch up on times, because this is a time where you have available, right? People are off from work, people who normally would be committed to their routine because everybody's struggling for food, clothing, shelter. But today is the day where you don't have to deal with that. Yeah, so you're talking to each other and you're catching up and you're exchanging those gifts that you spend a whole lot of time, right? Because the gifts are not cheap. They're very expensive. And some people went out and caught some deals, caught some sales. But my point is that you spend a lot of time to get those gifts and a lot of money to get those gifts. And, so the person that you're giving those gifts to, you hope that they are very appreciative of it. So this is the time where we get to really show each other what we mean to each other. And I think that's very important because, we're so bombarded by everyday life and the issues that are happening. Speaking of the issues, I was deeply disturbed by the woman who was burnt in the train station. My condolences to her family and the people who viewed it. My heart goes out to you because it's very traumatizing. The issues of mental health are not getting any better. And we have to ask ourselves, what role do we play in it? How do we respond to it? Are we comfortable with it or not, right? Everything is determined by how you respond to it. If you ignore it, that means you're comfortable with it. That means you accept that as something normal. And I think that that's the lesson that our political prisoners teach us, right? Those who made that sacrifice to stand up for their people, who demanded that their people be treated correct. Like Malcolm said, we have to struggle for human rights. And our political prisoners understood that very seriously. And the struggle for human rights, you have to be willing to put everything on the line. Che Guevara teaches us that immense sacrifice, and that's what our political prisoners have done. That they have committed to an immense sacrifice, and we should not forget them. And that's why when this platform comes on, our platform, the Northeast Political Prisoner Coalition, it's important that we engage seriously matters of our political prisoners. How can we make sure that they have a place in our hearts? How do we deal with them? What is their relationship to how we're developing as people, right? We got to look at this time of giving and receiving. What are we giving? Why are we giving what we're giving? What's the value in that particular item that we're giving to them? What is the expression that it does to the person that is receiving it? How are they looking at what we've given them? We have to directly relate that to our political prisoners. Our political prisoners are in prison. Do we write them? Do we talk about them? Do we invite them to our community? Right, at any given time, right? A political prisoner comes home at some point. Do we have them in the affairs of our community? Are they welcome with open arms in our community? Because that is the process of giving and receiving, right? You want something back, and you're giving something and you expect something back, right? A political prisoner have given their lives. They expect love. And we have benefited off their sacrifice. So we should be the ones that are giving back love. And how can that love be given back? That love can be given back in different ways, right? One way is through discussion, talking about political prisoners. Another way is to write to a political prisoner. Another way is to join an organization that is fighting for the freedom of our political prisoners. And once we understand that, then we understand our work ahead, our job. We take that very seriously. We decide that we're going to step up. We're going to really do something. And we're going to let our political prisoners know that they matter to us. Their lives was not for nothing, meaning the time that they spent while they were incarcerated, away from their family, away from their friends, that was serious times. And they are directly responsible for our development as human beings, right? We know now, we understand the seriousness of values. We understand that, wow, I have to first and foremost declare my value as a human being. And that means I'm going to treat myself a certain way. I'm going to demand that those around me treat me the exact same way. So now when you see a police officer mistreating one of your own, you know that that's not something that you have to tolerate. You know that if you're staying somewhere and the conditions of your housing situation is not up to par, you know that you don't have to stand for that. If you go to pick up your child and look at your child and look at the school that your child is going to, and the quality of material that is being presented to teach your children, which is to develop your future. If they're not up to par, you know that you don't have to stand for that. There's always something you can do. There's always an action that you can take, but that action must be organized. You must be committed to that action. You must be make a declaration of, this is the expression of self-determination. This is what I'm going to expect from you. I won't tolerate anything else. And that is the basis of human development. You know, as a human being, that you're going to stand up for yourself, and you're going to demand the best, and you want that from others around you, and you want to be the example to your children, because your children, they many people say, or some people say rather, do as I say, not as I do. And I think that that doesn't work, right? Some people say for some children it might work, but I think generally speaking, that's poor parenting, because it's really making you not being responsible for the setting the example. And I think that that is exactly what our political prisoners done. They set the example. Listen, I'm going to be what you need to be for yourself. I'm going to be on the front line because you need to be on the front line for yourself. And that's a remarkable example, because it inspires you to do as much as you could. It inspires you to just push yourself as much as you can, right? Today we might do something and we're not comfortable about how much we've done, and then tomorrow comes and then we have to look at ourselves and ask ourselves, what are we willing to do? And I think that that is a part of who we are as a people, and especially learning the history of our people. And we look at people like Malcolm, people like Marcus Garvey, and we ask ourselves, what motivated them to be where they are, or become the person who they became. Right? It's obviously didn't happen overnight. It was trial and error, uh, and it was going through the phases of their development as a human being and a person of serious politics. So when we look at the principles of our political prisoners, we're looking at sacrifice and commitment. Those two ideas, right? As we engage in this holiday time, right? Some people engage in Christmas, some people engage in Kwanzaa. Whatever you're into, you have to deal with the idea, the concept of commitment and sacrifice, right? You're sacrificing your time to do the preparations of the meals. You're sacrificing your time to find the best bargain for the gift that you want to give somebody. You're doing that because you are expressing what a person means to you, the value of that person. And I think that when we reflect on sacrifice and commitment, we are elevated in terms of our understanding of what these ideas mean when we reflect on who's expressing it best, right? You got two expressions that I think express it the best, and that's the political prisoner and the martyr, right? They understood before they became what they are, that was a possibility always. So sacrifice and commitment had to be made because they realized that nobody's going to take our situation as seriously as we are, right? They don't live in our community. I'm talking about those who sympathize with us, those who saying, okay, you should do what you're doing, or you have a right to do what you're doing, um but they don't live in our community. So if you don't live in our community, if you're not directly dealing with our problems, then your commitment and your sacrifice is not going to be as intense, or it's not going to be long term, because we still got to fight these battles long term, right? We got to fight them until they resolved. We can't get relaxed. We got to say, okay, listen, um, there's something I have to do today about this situation. This situation is not going away. It must be dealt with. And in one case in particular is Jordan Neely, right? It was very unfortunate that his killer got acquitted, but it reminded me of Trayvon Martin and Zimmerman, and how Zimmerman walked, and we were back at the same situation, doing what we could do. I just asked myself the question, what else can we do? We want to do one thing, but we have to add other things to it, right? We have to advance what we decide to do because we want the problem to end. So if we continue to do the same thing, that's something that is a response, but we have to add on to the response. We have to advance the tactic, and we have to make an assessment of the method, and from that, then we have to ask ourselves, what's the most effective way to resolve this situation, and who's willing to do what, when, why, and for how long. These serious questions are needed to be asked. And when you are around political prisoners, people who did 30, 40, 50 years in prison, right, you start to understand, what sacrifice and commitment really are. When you're looking them in their face and you realize how much life have went by, it's something serious when you are age, and your age is equivalent to the time that political prisoner have done in prison. You look at that and say, wow, he's spent my entire life in prison. And once that becomes a reality, then you have to look at this person in an entirely different light, and you have to really put them at a high level of respect, and you have to commit yourself to more time to making others aware of our political prisoners, because they need that time. They need that time to be talked about. They need that time to be written to. Right. That's why I make it my business, and I apologize for being late, and provide you with contact information. This is Joy Powers' contact information during this time of giving. Give her some time. Write a letter. Write Joy Powers, and past, please share this information with others. There's another political prisoner, Imam Jamil Al-Amin. Last episode, we talked about him because he's still going through his life-threatening situation, and we want him transported. And but it's going to take a collective effort. You know, those letters, those calls have to be made by more than just a few of us. More of us have to get involved, and we have to let people know why. Mumia Abu Jamal should have been home. We have more work to do, and we have to take this work very seriously. Where he's an asset to us, and we need to treat him like an asset by bringing him home. This is our contact information of the Northeast Political Prisoner Coalition. We love to hear from you, ideas about what we should do and where you're from. And we accept an invitation to come to your church, to your mosque, and speak about political prisoners. Kamal Siddiqui from South Jamaica, Queens. So if you happen to be in South Jamaica, Queens, do some research on the area where they had the Black Panther Party office. Learn about this brother, and you know, have him in your discussions. And these are other brothers too, other comrades who are in prison that we need to learn more about, and myself included. You know, because some of our political prisoners get more recognition than others, and it's a process to make sure they all get equal recognition. So every day is different, and every day we commit ourselves to doing this particular work, this particular task, because it is our job to speak more about our political prisoners. So while you enjoying your holiday meals, make sure you have a discussion on political prisoners. Make sure you give them their just due. They deserve to be talked about. They deserve to be respected at that level. You know, treat them like an uncle or an aunt. That's not a way. I mean, that is away from the family, but you always inquire, how they doing? How's Mumia doing? How's Reverend Joy doing? How's Jojo Bowen doing? How's Leonard Petier doing? You know, those are some of the discussions that we need to be having amongst our peers, amongst our family, because our political prisoners deserve that rightfully. You know, there are values that come up when we talk about our political prisoners. These values of being extremely focused, yes, the value of commitment and sacrifice that I'm brought up, but there's a value of love. How do you express love to a people? What is the best way that they can clearly show that you love them? And is that when you put yourself on the front line, as our political prisoners done. When you do that, there's no question about your love. And we have to respond to that expression of love equally, right? Meaning that we have to sacrifice more of our time for our political prisoners. We have to engage, we got to participate in programs on our political prisoners. We have access to our community centers, which we should, right? Those are made for us, and it's made from our money, our dollars. So we need to be there, and we need to develop programs, events that are about political prisoners. You know, the Curb Fest, they were very, very, very successful in bringing awareness about political prisoners, and that's something that we need to continue to do. But if you have access to a community center, which all you have to do is speak to the director, excuse me, and find out when the next availability is possible, right? And I just want to give you my contact information because I would love to do an event, organize an event at your community center. If you live in any other 5 boroughs, that'll be most convenient for me. But I'm willing to travel. We just have to talk about how is that's possible and get something done so we can let the community know about political prisoners. So this is my contact information. Please share it with someone you might think that will take me seriously and allow me to be in that community to get this particular work done. I know it's a one group of people that I don't speak about probably as much as I should, and that's the student unions, right? Student unions in these college, universities, these college communities. I would love to come to your college and speak about political prisoners, give you a clear definition of what a political prisoner is, allow you to know who I am and what am I a part of, explain the origins of the Northeast political prisoners, how Sekou Odinga decided that when he came home, he wanted to not forget those who were still in prison. He committed himself to doing that work. And although he's not here with us physically, we still feel his energy. His energy is amongst us to continue to go on, right? Because that's one thing that we need to really internalize is the concept of honor. What does it mean to have integrity and honor, right? If a person that you respected tremendously is gone, do you not talk about them anymore? Do you stop putting up their pictures? Do you stop reading their books? Do you stop thinking about them, right? And if so, is that honorable? And once we start to dig deep into that concept of honor, then it reflects on our everyday life. And that's exactly what upholding an organization is, or being a part of the upholding of an organization is that you decide that this is an expression of honor. I'm not going to forget you. I'm going to talk about you. I'm going to talk about what you mean to us. I'm going to get involved in bringing awareness about political prisoners. And when I say, when I use the term I'm just going to say that just means that I'm going to be a part of a group, right? Of course, nobody can get anything done by themselves. But if something is very important, you have to start with yourself. You have to say that this idea, this concept is just this important that I'm not going to wait for nobody to join me. I'm going to decide that I'm going to start off. I'm going to start off small, then I'm going to get bigger, and then when others decide that they want to participate, then I welcome them with up and open arms. I would like to give some more information on our political prisoners, some more in details on them. If you are not aware of some of them, this information that I'm providing you right now can go deeper into their story. So during this holiday time, you could take a picture of this, you could pause this particular part of the episode and share it with somebody else. You can scan the barcodes and get some more information on these particular political prisoners, because when the Northeast Political Prisoner podcast is on, right, it's educational, it's informative, it's something that's supposed to rile you up, to encourage you to do more than just say, yes, I heard about a political prisoner. It is supposed to make you get involved, right, or urge you to get involved. And this is very important because our political prisoners need to come home. They need to be amongst us. They don't need to die in prison. And I want to take the time out to give you the concept or the definition of a political prisoner and curb fest for those who are not familiar with the concept of curb fest and political prisoners. So it's showcased it right now on the screen. The Curb Fest for political prisoners connects organizers with community members to raise awareness of political prisoners and share ways to get involved in the movement. It features local DJs, performers, and artists. In Philly, the first Curb Fest will take place in Germantown on September 18th, 2021, with 9 curb locations near Germantown and Shelton Avenues. Organizers are already planning the first Curb Fest in Boston, where will you host your Curb Fest? And that's the definition of a Curb Fest, so you could get the concept of what it is and be inspired to emulate that where you are currently at. And what is a political prisoner? A political prisoner are people jailed on charges related to their resistance to oppression and repression. and targeted by the state for their political beliefs and or actions. The contribution their resistance makes to revolution is the basis of their capture, regardless of the charges brought under the invalid racist laws of the government. So those are two definitions that I thought that should be provided to you, so you have some understanding and some clarity on a political prisoner as well as Kurfest. And I thank my beloved comrade Val Haynes for providing that information for me so I can give it to you. Therefore, you understand that this work is not just my work, but I'm part of a group. I'm part of an organization that is admitted to that. It's Northeast Political Prisoners, as you already know, as well as Holler. You know, we working together, bringing ideas to a community and letting the community know that, you know, we are the expression of those who made sacrifices. We have been um, committed to doing that. And this episode, or the last couple of episodes, and actually the duration of this podcast, um, it's been about that. It's been about what are you going to do? How are you going to show your respect? What will your role be? And that's why it's done on a consistent basis. And we always challenge ourselves to do more, to do better, to be more clear, to take a definitive position when it comes to our political prisoners. To yes, free them all is the call. When we say what's the call, we usually say free them all. But we really understand that we can't let our political prisoners die in prison. Our political prisoners cannot be forgotten. You know, they did so much for us. So think about Mumia Abu Jamal today, right? Think about him today. Matter of fact, think about him today, tomorrow, and the day after, right? Whenever you're talking about injustices, right? We still looking at what's going on with the Palestinians, and they're fighting for their very existence. You know, they have political prisoners. If you know any Palestinian political prisoners or any supporters of the Palestinians that would like to come on this platform and speak about the Palestinian political prisoners, please do so. Give them my contact information so we can have those discussions, so the world can know about those who sacrifice for their very existence. So this is why I provide my contact information, so we can have these much needed conversations, because ignoring the problem does not solve the problem. It only passes the problem down to another generation. So that's why we love to have these conversations. We love to build on what we need to be building on, and that is building a solid foundation on a serious issue, and that being political prisoners. So I remember when my first time writing to a political prisoner was actually Matudu Shakur, and this is before I really understood the concept of political prisoners. And I was so thrilled when he wrote me back. I said, wow, he really took my letter seriously. He wrote me back. He gave me some information. He said what he agreed with and what he did not agree with what I wrote in the letter. And it made me feel important. And I realized that, you know, that was a relationship that I want to continue. And I do have to take some criticism because I didn't continue to write him as much as I should have. Obviously, I got distracted by some other things that were going on in my life. But, you know, I got back on track and got involved with the work to deal with political prisoners. But it was quite some time after that, those letters or that letter. But once I did, I decided that, you know, this is something that I need to take very seriously. I need to commit myself to it. I need to be consistent. I need to encourage others to get involved. I need to be an example of what I would want from others. And that allowed me to be taken seriously. That allowed others to say, oh, wow, I should give him a listen, whether I agree or not, right? He's doing something that's been done on a consistent basis by him and people like him. And therefore, I can at least give him my time. So peace and love to you. Thank you for listening. Please be safe during this very day. Enjoy your holidays. Do not forget political prisoners. Write to them. My contact information is available for those interested in supporting the Northeast Political Prisoner Coalition. Love to hear from you. Peace and love.
Here I am, after so many years, hounded by hatred and trapped by fear. I'm in a box, I've got no place to go. If I follow my mind, I know I slaughter my own. Help me, I'm the prisoner. Won't you hear my plea? I need somebody, yeah, to listen to me. I beg you, brothers and sisters,